citizens of YouTube land.
Hey,
It's your president and your VP. And we're back once again with another review. It's, I guess, been 2 or 3 weeks since the last one because that's kind of how we do things around here. But this time around, it's going to be Ferris Buller's Day Off. And it premiered on June the 11th, 1986. And it was made for $5 million. And it made $70.7 million at the box office.
it was only a week and a half ago, Dad, that we last posted on
the
channel.
My mistake, but it is what it is. We're kind of infrequent like that. We don't post too often sometimes. It is what it is, guys. And the movie was directed by John Hughes. It stars Matthew Broderick and Jennifer Grey. We have Charlie Sheen coming in with a cameo appearance in the movie. And then we've got Jeffrey Jones. Now, I guess we kind of have to address the elephant in the room when it comes to Jeffrey Jones. And, well, this is what Jeffrey Jones looks like.
Yeah, this face is definitely the face that ICP was writing about with To Catch a Predator.
Yeah, guys, he got into some trouble years later, and it was bad. We'll just say that. We can't really talk about it but if you want to know, just kind of Google it and you'll find out.
Just Google Jeffrey Jones, guys, and you'll find out.
Then we'll leave it at that. So the movie is, I guess it's about how you're supposed to have no regrets in life, or, Ferris even says that if you don't stop and smell the roses once in a while, that life's going to pass you by. But here's the thing about that, guys, that you don't really have to scam your school, scheme your sister, flim-flam your parents, and bamboozle half of the city of Chicago in order to prove your point.
Yeah.
Which is everything that Ferris does, because let's get right into the story. I guess in some ways, Ferris Bueller might be the template for the Zach Morris character.
Yeah.
Because he can talk in the fourth wall, and he does a lot of bad things, actually, and we all root for him as teenagers and whatnot, because I do also understand, guys, that, and I had a lot of fun with it because it's fun to just kind of escape in the movie. But on the same hand, you can look at it from the adult's perspective, and now you're seeing it, and it's hooray, teenagers, adults are stupid, teachers are dumb, and we can pull tricks on them, and it's fine.
Okay, listen, pulling tricks on the principal in this movie may not be that bad of an idea.
Actually, it's not, but we'll get into what happens to him. So let's just begin. So the movie kicks off, and Ferris Bueller is pulling a scam on his parents about playing hooky, essentially. Now, some of you guys may not understand what that phrase is, but essentially, he just wants to take the day off from school, mind you, so because he's a teenager, and all he has to do is just go to school, and his life is pretty much perfect, because he lives in suburban Chicago with his parents, who obviously are well off. Ferris and his parents are. Meanwhile, Cameron kind of, I think, is meant to represent the everyday man, because he is a bit on the opposite side, and that his father is always kind of ragging on him and getting down on him. And as a result, it's implied that Cameron, his best friend, mind you, would rather be sick than be healthy, and that he's more happy being sick than healthy. So, meanwhile, Ferris has this idea, and his sister, played by Jennifer Grey, is like totally over Ferris's BS and has just had it up to here with the shenanigans in the film. And she is dead set on basically getting him caught, essentially, throughout the whole thing. Until, well, we'll get to it. We'll get to it. Because that's a little bit later. So he calls Cameron up and he tells Cameron, he says,
well, it's like at the beginning of the film, he basically breaks the fourth wall by talking to the audience. He's like, how can I go to school on a day like this? And it shows that that it's blue in the sky, everything. There's not a cloud in sight, sunny, and all
right,
that.
Right. And so, like I said, he calls Cameron up, okay? And he tells Cameron, he's like, hey, we need to take your dad's Ferrari out, which is a 1960 Ferrari GT that his father, Cameron's father had spent 3 full years restoring and rebuilding. This is very important. I mean, this car is cherry. It is choice, in the words of Ferris. Ferris has the idea, the bright idea, mind you, to take this car out into Chicago. In the city of Chicago. The actual city itself, Wrigley Field, Sears Tower, the whole 9 yards.
Yeah, because John Hughes wrote the film to be basically a love letter to Chicago.
So, Cameron's entirely against this because he understands that his father will basically make sure that he sleeps with the fishes. Yeah, he's that serious about it. So
he's like, hey, my dad knows the exact gas mileage on, or knows the exact mileage on this car. He's like, oh, we'll roll it back.
Yeah, shown here. So
he doesn't trust you. Never has, never will. Look, this is real simple. Whatever miles we put on, we'll take off.
So, because, and we're back, because, well, guys, let me just tell you that jacking the car up and rolling your wheels in reverse is not going to roll your odometer back. It doesn't work that way. But Ferris is kind of stupid in that regard that he would even think that, but
I think
he's a teenager, so it's excusable.
I think there is a way to roll the odometer back, but you have to like get it full on tuned.
Maybe if you had like all four synced together, I don't know.
No,
I'm not going to dispute it here. We'll just
go
go with it because it's movie logic in the first place.
There is a way. You just got to get it tuned. Like you got to get a tune up in order for it to reset and roll back.
So he then convinces Cameron to play Sloane Peterson's father. Okay? Sloane Peterson, by the way, is Ferris's girlfriend. And she's stuck in school. But he's going to get her out of school. So they come up with this plan of calling the school up. And Cameron's going to impersonate... he's going to impersonate Sloane's father. He's going to talk to Ed. And Ed's going to believe that it's Ferris. And Ferris is going to call him and be like, I'm sick. I need my assignment. Sit home with my sister. Or something to that nature. And so Ed is fooled. But this leads to a conversation where he doesn't really want to do it, mind you. So he tells him that he needs to have her out front, right here.
Yeah.
So.
I changed my mind. I want you out in front of the school with her. I'd like to have a few words with you, by God. On second thought, we don't have time to talk right now. We'll get together soon and we'll have lunch.
Because it doesn't do it justice, because it's pretty fun. But they show up at the school, and Ferris is in this ridiculous disguise with glasses and a trench coat. And Ed has gotten freaked out, by the way, that he's going to get sued by Sloane's father, who is in reality Cameron.
And then he straight up goes to Sloane. He's like, will you give Daddy a kiss? And she's like, always. And then Ed is immediately like, so there's that kind of family.
What? But Ed quickly catches on to, well, Ferris's, yeah. He quickly catches on. So he's in pursuit, right, throughout the city. Ferris gets this idea of continuing to impersonate people in order to get his way. So they scam a free lunch, and it's just typical teenage stuff. And they go see a game at Wrigley Field because naturally, like we said, it was his love letter to Chicago. And so it's almost towards the end, and Ed Rooney has shown up at Ferris's house because he's going to catch him in the act of him not being at home. And
which is highly illegal, actually.
It is. He breaks and enters the house. Well, not quite. Here's what happens right here. What happens was that he actually had a conversation, or rather, Ferris's sister believes that he's there, or that there's an intruder, so she calls the cops. But this is not before Ed Rooney had stuck in his head between the doggy door, only to come face to face with, well, a Rottweiler. And things happen to him. But cops show up, and Ferris's sister is actually taken in for filing a false police report. And we don't have the clip here, but here's a still image of Jennifer Grey as Ferris Bueller's sister with a drugged out Charlie Sheen, because he kind of insisted on this. Fun fact, he did insist on being portrayed as drugged out. But it might also be that it was just another Tuesday for Charlie Sheen. Yeah. So there's also that. But he essentially tells her, hey, why are you ragging on your brother for? Why don't you just go live your life? And why are you so concerned with him? And this convinces her that, hey, she should forgive Ferris. Because it's towards the end. And Ed has shown up yet again. And he has found Ferris. He's got him dead to rights. When Ferris' sister sees what's going on, shown here, and she sees what is going on, and she saves Ferris and tells him, hey, you need to get upstairs because Mom and Dad will be home any minute. And so, in the end, Ferris just gets away with everything. I mean, everything, yeah. Including, but not limited to, causing said Ferrari to go flying straight out the window. Because they jack up the wheels, and then the jacks fail, and it goes barreling out the window into the forest. But the whole message really is, guys, that Cameron needed to kind of mature a bit and stand up to his father, and so we're kind of on the more serious aspects now. And so he really needed to do that. And Ferris did, in fact, actually help him, albeit through multiple misdemeanors and felonies, but he did help him. So, I mean, and in the end, it was about, it's a teenage movie about how it's that one period of your life right before you enter adulthood. So it's that setting right there. And that can be kind of a weird time for people. So I think it really kind of helped to illustrate each character's past. And as we said, and it was tremendous fun actually watching Ed Rooney get his comeuppance, and the fact that we know what he truly is was, I really hope that the damn Rottweiler actually took a bite out of him. And I'm sorry to have to throw that in there, but that's kind of how I feel about it. So with that being said, guys, final rating, 4 out of 5. Let's say you.
Also 4 out of 5.
Definitely a fun watch, guys. I don't think it is. I don't think it's as great as The Breakfast Club or even 16 Candles or Home Alone, which is another John Hughes classic. He had so many that
Or Beethoven.
Ferris was just another hit. And listen, people might come at you for Beethoven, but we'll defend Beethoven because it is a fun romp. Maybe we'll get into that in another time if we haven't already, because that might be a hint that he just dropped there. But with that being said, guys, I guess there's only one thing we could, well, few things before we go. First and foremost, June 10th, which I guess is tomorrow, right?
Yes.
Tomorrow, which it might not be uploaded tomorrow, but tomorrow we'll be doing our 4-year anniversary video. You guys are not going to want to miss that. It's Aloha Scooby-Doo. So that should be a lot of fun. Also, for Pride Month this year, we've got our Pride Month special coming after that. It's Mrs. Doubtfire. You guys are welcome for that, and he is super excited for that. So with that being said, guys, there's only one thing left for us to say, and that, of course, is
Peace and love from Denny and Son.
Bye.